7 years ago, I got myself 5 chickens. I had a small house with a backyard and I could sit there for hours just watching them while I had my cup of coffee. The way they walked and moved, scratching the dirt looking for worms and bugs, and just enjoying life. I couldn't quite wrap my head around that these creatures lived in cages, producing eggs for our breakfast table. So I started to read. I read about farm animals, dirt, soil, grass, food and additives, and carbon and free-ranging animals, and farming in general. And farmers. Who are these people devoting their life to live like that and make food for others? So I decided to dive in and visit some of them and have their portraits taken and make a book about the Norwegian farmer. And I think I got to 55 visits before I couldn't do it anymore. And after meeting all those cool people, I thought that I could do it as well and live like that and do what they did. I wanted to find a place, care for land and animals, get my hands dirty, and make food. So my girlfriend and I started to look for a farm or a homestead within 1 hour of the city of Oslo, where the most of our family and friends are. I work at a photo company and we also have an office in Oslo, but I do most post-production sitting at the computer, so I don't have to be at the office and can easily do my work from home. Not many farms are out in the market, and when it is, people are really interested. And as it turned out, we weren't the only one wanting to live in the countryside. At every open house we went to, there were so many people, we had to park way down in the street, walk several minutes just to get to the driveway of the house. I even played around with the idea of opening a donut truck and drive around and sell donuts and coffee to all the people that were attending, because there sure was a lot of them. After open house, there's 24 hours where you can place your bid. And if the seller's happy with the price, the house goes to the one with the highest bid, and that was usually not us. Eventually, we got lucky enough to get a place of our own. Now we just had to figure out what to do there. I knew I wanted animals that could graze and build soil. And I like cheese, and cheese usually comes from cows, goats, sheep, or water buffalo. And water buffaloes are a tropical animal, I thought at the time. And what I've heard about goats is that they're almost impossible to fence in. And sheep around here is mostly held for meat. And we have wolves. I read an article online about water buffaloes being held in Canada. And Canada have winters and snow and ice. And as it turns out, water buffalo doesn't have any problems living in conditions like this at all. Then I found out there was a couple of water buffaloes herds in Sweden, which is the country next to us. And a farmer over there actually had a couple of animals to sell. So I started that process, and it was a process. No living water buffalo have ever set foot on Norwegian soil. And it was a whole lot of bureaucracy and applications and money. I think I got turned down by 5 banks. And there's a thing called Innovation Norway, who supports and give loans to projects like that. But I guess they thought that this wasn't innovative at all. They thought it was a fun project. I got a pat on the shoulder. But their focus that year was to build sheep houses. So if I'd considered that instead, they were all game. But finally, I got a loan and waited for the green light from the government to get the animals into the country. In the meantime, I got a couple of sheep and pigs to practice on. I tried to establish pasture by hand because I didn't have a tractor yet. So I had 5 sheep and 19 pigs. And I wanted the pigs to plow, because again, no tractor. And I had a mobile electrical fence so I could move the pigs every other day. Then my girlfriend and I decided to go separate ways, and I moved out. And sure enough, at the same time, I got the green light from the government. And there I was, sleeping on the couch at the office in the city, with water buffaloes coming in a really, really short time. So what to do? I remember getting a call from my colleague and best friend. He said, "I'm not telling you not to do this, but as your friend, I have to ask if you should reconsider, and if this is the right time to go through with this and maybe get water buffaloes some other time. I don't think they're allowed out in the alley behind the office building." And he made a solid point. But there were 3 years until the farmer had any animals to sell again, and by that time I could be dead. And he agreed. So I went for it and started to look for a place that I could call home. I had 1 month to find a place that I could afford, make livable, and in shape enough to house the water buffaloes. Needless to say, there weren't enough time. I mean, we'd spent 3 years finding the other place, and now I had to do it again in 1 month. And in the same area because of the 2 kids we share. When you import animals from another country, they have to be quarantined for 6 months at the new place in a confined area before you can take them out on pasture. They come in a trailer, and when they step out and into the building with a small space on the outside with double fencing, they can't go back out in 180 days. So I tried really hard to find a place with the right facilities that I could rent while I rented a room for myself up the street. But my now ex-girlfriend was kind enough to let me use her barn, so that gave me some more time to find a place on my own. And after 4 months of searching, driving to and from the water buffaloes to care for them and feed them, endless visits from the vet, blood and stool sampling, and 3 calves being born, and losing one of the cows 2 days before the expected birth of the calf, and losing the calf. That really was rough for a rookie farmer. I have never felt that helpless in my life. The vet couldn't figure it out, and suddenly I sat there with a 650 kilo dead animal that I could do nothing for. We did an autopsy. I had to put her on a trailer and drive her down to Oslo at the Veterinary Institute in my car, but no one could figure it out, and we still don't know why she died. But finally I received the keys to this place, and here I am, 3 years in. And now we've reached the part of the story where I show you how successful I've been and show you my dairy and all my coworkers milking, making and selling cheese, and the several hundred chickens and ducks running around in the pasture, eating bugs and helping to improve soil structure, and all the eggs they produce, which I sell at the market, along with the fresh produce I make in the garden and the big greenhouse, and the big pen I've built for training the dogs in, and all the bees and honey they produce, and the barn that I keep tidy and clean, where all my tools have their own place so I can find them easily when I need them, and a newly painted house with brand new insulated windows and heated floors where you use pots and pans to make food in and not to collect rainwater. But that's not where I am, not even close, and that's okay. It has been much tougher than I anticipated, building the farm from scratch, fixing the house, caring for the animals, and try to do my best at work and being a father. And that's why my farmer portrait book thing got stranded. When I started doing all of this, I didn't have the opportunity to travel around anymore. But even if it didn't turn into a book, I still cherish the journey and all the people that I met and all the stuff that I learned. And I started making these videos instead, which I love and will keep on doing, alongside continuing to develop this farm and make it an even more amazing place. So thank you for watching my videos and all the comments and the support. And though I don't have a giant herd of water buffaloes, let's check in on the ones I do have and let them be an inspiration and a reminder to start playing with our food again and not chew with our mouths closed. Thanks for watching.